Hello. Hi. I'm back on live and I was wondering if my connection was right. But anyway, I think it's fine. Let's just go on with it. So if you're watching me live for the first time and if you're wondering why I'm coming on live, it's because I'm on a challenge and I want to step out of my comfort zone, but not coming on live for the sake of coming on live. So I'll come on to share a story, a learning, and I wanted to share a story because I got reminded last night before I went to bed, my desk was really, really neat. Okay, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? It's just a desk, right? So this brings me back to the days when I'm still an employee. So I go to work, and of course in the recent years, in my last former life, I actually have the luxury to work from home on a Friday. But I still like to go to work on a Friday because most people would be working from home and the office would really be quiet. So I actually do like that tranquility that I have on a Friday. And one thing about working with big corporations, and I noticed something about my boss's desk. It started even way back, maybe when I was in my mid-20s. I remembered when I was walking to my workstation, I would get to pop my head to see if my desk is in the office. And I think one of the most memorable part was in my mid-20s. My boss, she doesn't come in all the time. Hey Annie, good to have you live with me today, and thanks for always stopping by. So I get to pop my head in to see my boss's desk. It's amazing because I look at the desk and all there is a pen holder, which is a gift from her daughter. Hey Jasmine, nice to have you here with me. And all she has was a pen holder, a gift from her daughter, and she has a phone. That's it on her desk. That's all. I'm like, doesn't my boss work? I know that she doesn't come in all the time. I'm just amazed at how little things there are on her desk. So I kind of just assume that maybe because she's a consultant, she doesn't need to come in all the time, and hence maybe her desk is really clean. And then as I progressed on, I went to work for another organization. This boss comes in all the time. He's a local GM, right? He comes in all the time. And I'm always amazed that there's also nothing on his desk. All he has is a charger point for his laptop. He has a physical writing notepad and a whiteboard. That's it. And I'm like, don't my bosses have to work? Like, why is it that there's so little things on their desk? So maybe I'm a slow developer. I see this, that was in my mid-20s. I see it with my various bosses. And as I progress later in my early 30s, like I said, I'm probably a late developer. I get things slow, right? And I also noticed one day I was supposed to meet my VP. She's in town. She's based in Australia. She's in town. She flew in. I said, fantastic. Yeah, in town, and I want to film you. So she would be at a desk, right? But because she flew in, she doesn't have an office. And she said, oh, don't worry, I'll be in the GM's office. And I'm like, really? You just step in the GM's office and take over his desk? And I went in. I noticed one thing as well. The GM's desk was really clean. All he had was a little docking station for you to dock your laptop, right? It gets a charger in, you have an extra USB port. And that was it. So by then, I was really in my early 30s. Okay, so Annie was saying that her boss was also hot desking and is always on the move. Yeah, so if you start to observe, a lot of bosses, and they're all very capable bosses, and I totally admire, respect them, I learn lots of things from them. There is a trend whereby their desks are really, really clean. I'm not sure why. Back then, I didn't know why. Back then, after 7-8 years, I was like, what's this thing about having such clean desks? But since the common denominator is that all these people are people whom are my bosses and I admire them, I thought maybe there's something. So I started to keep my desk neat as well. And I joked with my colleague Dan. I said that, my desk, I'm keeping it really neat because if for any reason there's a reorganization, restructure exercise, and if I need to leave, I can leave immediately. And she got inspired as well. She started cleaning up her desk. So we spent the whole Friday afternoon when there's not many people in the office. We started cleaning up our desk and we were very, very pleased with ourselves. And later in life, like I said, I'm a bit of a slow developer. I realized that because all these bosses, I call them all these people are leaders, they already have a very clear vision of where they want to be, what they want to achieve. It's all in their mind. It's with such clarity that they have nothing on their desk. It's all in their mind. And it even exudes that clarity in their environment. Yeah, because they have to be the captain of the ship. They know exactly where they're heading. And if they're confused within, that confusion will be reflected in their external environment. And when I see bosses with clear desks, clean desks, it actually reflects back on them being a very strong leader who has a very clear vision. Okay, so yesterday when I saw my desk being so clean, I felt a bit pleased. Okay, maybe because I'm my own boss, I have my own desk, it's fine. But it was a good reflection. So why I'm sharing this on a Friday? Because Friday is the time whereby if you have to go to the office, if you do not have to stay home by default, maybe it's a good time to just observe, just for the fun of it, observe the desks around you, your colleagues' desks, your peers, and senior executives whom you admire. Just observe, look at their desks. Is there any difference? So this is an interesting observation, and this is also a way whereby we model people whom we admire. I mean, if it's just as simple as keeping the desk neat, but you don't keep it neat for the sake of keeping it neat, not like I'm coming on live for the sake of coming on live, right? I wanted to share something of meaning for me, for you. So when you keep your desk neat, how do you feel, right? I felt really pleased and feel like so structured, like there's so much clarity. I'm not sure how it feels for you, but if you're watching this right now, if you happen to be at your workstation or going to your workstation, observe, and maybe you might feel inspired to keep your desk organized as well, because it's a reflection of what's inside. And if you don't feel like you want to keep it organized, perhaps there's something within that feels a little bit cloudy, I'm not sure. But why not? Just a fun thing to do and see how it goes. So that's it for my live today. It's just a simple one because it's Friday. I'm sure if you're at work, you want to relax. Just wanted to share something which I observed for myself, and it does feel good that, after over 10 years, I finally realized the importance of a clean desk. This is a difference whereby I have a clean and neat desk because it's a reflection of what's inside me. I'm not doing it because I'm being forced to. I used to know of someone, he finds his staff, he makes them pay a fine if their desk is not clean when they leave their workstation at the end of the day. Okay, and when I was just starting out as an auditor, my desk was amazingly messy. Like, we had to deal with a lot of paper. I will open up my files, I will sit down, I will do my work. When it's done for the day, I like to keep my files open because I say that I'm going to come back the next day. I'm just going to sit there and start doing what where I left off. I don't want to flip open the file and that was it. So I feel that there's some growth. It was a slow growth, but at least there was some growth. So food for thought, if you like to go observe around your workstation or your own workstation at home, who knows, you might feel inspired to organize your desk a little bit. Okay, so that's all for today. If that was something that's interesting, I hope to see you back tomorrow on my live. I'll be coming on live a few more days, and Saturdays, I'm not sure what am I sharing, but Saturdays is always my niece day, probably something lighthearted, and we'll see how it goes. But thanks very much for coming on live with me. Take care. Bye bye.